Creamer Media's Mining Weekly Online interviewed Vuslat Bayoglu, the Managing Director of resources holding company Menar, on Eskom's need for low-priced, right-quality coal.
Eskom needs the right quality coal at the right price. And to be able to do that, I think coal mining companies will come to the party, and then they will offer their help to the new management. In our capacity, we are prepared to negotiate with them to get a decent price for them and for us. Our priority is to offer Eskom everything that we have. The mineral that we are mining is this country's mineral, and it has to first serve this country, then it can go to export markets.
The issue of pricing is crucial here,
right,
because there doesn't seem to be much transparency in the pricing of Eskom's coal. We see at Richards Bay, we know what prices are going out. In Australia, you can get from Newcastle what's happening. You can find out at Rotterdam, but you can't find out at Eskom.
I think Eskom needs a unique model. I guess it can be done with consultation. But the critical thing of index pricing is the liquidity. You need, like coal, mining companies to come to the party, and you need Eskom to come to the party and create a model. How you're going to apply an index to price the coal for Eskom. Eskom has got three types of contracts. It's cost-plus contracts, which are long-term, and they've got fixed-price contracts, and they've got spot contracts. And spot contracts are normally, it could be a year or 2 years or 3 years. But fixed-price contracts are also long-term, which is like sometimes 10 years, sometimes over 10 years. And then cost-plus is obviously life of mine and almost life of, in some cases, power station. So if you look at these things, like how do you include a cost-plus business into an index price? So if you take cost plus and a fixed price, it's about, let's say, 30% of the coal is then bought on spot market. So Eskom doesn't go and buy the coal, let's say today, let's buy 1 million ton, tomorrow we'll buy another 1 million ton. It doesn't work like that. So that's why the transparency in Eskom pricing the coal should be, I think, a part of a consultative process, and then industry and Eskom should come and agree on a model where if an Eskom buys 21 CV products, they shouldn't pay you a different rate and then somebody else a different rate, which in some cases might be far apart, which is unnecessary. Because think about it, if you buy a bottle of water at a garage and you pay, let's say, 5 Rand, and then you drive 100 kilometers and you buy the same bottle of water at 10 Rand, it won't work, right? It might be 5 Rand 50 or 4 Rand 50, but it wouldn't be 10 Rand. So that's critical for Eskom, and that's critical for the coal mining industry, because remember, for instance, when the currency moves up and down, we don't like it. Why? Because we need stability. As coal mining companies, we don't want Rand to lose a lot of value, because it catches up with us at the end of the day, because then everything becomes expensive in the country. It's not good for the country. And then we don't also want a very strong Rand. Same applies. We need like some sort of stable and consistent like currency. The same applies for the coal price for the coal mining industry and Eskom, so that Eskom knows that, like, if I need emergency stockpile, then I'm not going to pay double. I'm going to pay maybe 10% more, because I need emergency, I made a mistake and I'm out of coal, but I'm going to pay a premium, it's my punishment. I will pay 10% more, but not 100% more. So these are critical things, and we don't have the rules set, and obviously this can only be started by Eskom, and this is something that they need to think about what they're going to do. But these are all ideas.
And how much coal do you have, and how much could you offer to Eskom?
From our Palmet-Kalen and Springfield projects, we will be producing about 14 million ton per annum. That's our plan, and we plan to wash in both projects, and then we'll lose about 10% or 15% to the yield. So in total, from these two projects, we can offer 12 to 13 million ton per annum, and this is decent quality, and because of the low strip ratio, we can offer it at the right price. On top of these two projects, we got also the Wittekrans project in Hendrina, which is not far away from Arnott Power Station, or it can go to Majuba. We can offer, in total, if I look at our portfolio of projects, in 2021, 2022, we can offer in the region of 20 million tonne per annum if Eskom decides to buy.
And of the integrated resource plan, do you feel that it is a good mix?
It's a balanced plan, that's what I'm thinking. And it may have maybe more renewables, depending on the restrictions on the grid, because renewables are very cheap at the moment, and obviously very environmentally friendly, and we are very supportive of having more renewables in the world and also in South Africa. But one fact which is critical, until humanity finds a way to store the energy in a cheap way, the baseload solution is either nuclear or coal or gas or diesel. And in South Africa we have coal. So to invest, for instance, in gas, which is much environmentally friendly than coal, is very expensive. You need about $5 billion on the infrastructure. We need to have ports that's going to accept and receive gas, and then we need to pipe it to the power stations. So Eskom, in this current financial situation or the country, it's going to be very difficult to invest in gas or nuclear heavily. So what we have is coal. So we have to mine coal at the right price, we have to burn it at the right price, and we have to make sure that we got the right filters to capture carbon dioxide, because we can't kill people, or we can't make people sick because of burning coal. And this is doable. It's done in China at the moment, big time, because China carries on building coal-fired power stations. Southeast Asian countries are building, all of them are building. It's very obviously big in US, like they're retiring all the coal-fired power stations. Why? Because they've got gas. So they invested in shale gas since 1974, and they commercialized it, so they burn gas because they've got so much gas. And on top of burning gas, they sell gas to Europe. So there's a big competition between Russia and United States in European markets. So that's why gas prices went down so drastically, and it's so cheap. At some stage, they were selling earlier this year in US, they were selling gas at zero cost. I mean, it was zero, like you pay nothing because you have to sell it. They can't store it. So this is a great situation to be able to retire coal-fired power stations, and then they can burn gas, because for European market, which is generating huge amount of power, they get gas from Russia. Now, because they've got gas coming from United States, there's a big competition, price also go down. So that's an ideal situation. But the other fact that we need to also think about and know about is, in Europe, let's say you go to Germany. They got coal-fired power stations, they got gas-fired power stations, they got windmills, they got solar, they got nuclear coming from mainly France, okay, in Europe. So they have got all the options. If they see that coal is bad, then they go to gas. If they see that gas prices goes up, they go to nuclear. If they see that nuclear power stations are failing, they go back to coal. And on top of that, they put windmills and they put solar power. Whatever they get, they use it in the grid, and then they are flexible. In South Africa, we don't have that flexibility. We don't have all these things so that we choose whichever we're going to run. So for South Africa, the critical thing is, how can we burn coal without impacting the environment, without impacting the people?